KABC right now, excuse me.
Traffic accident. You can see multiple cars involved in here. It hit this area here. You can see all sorts of debris on the road. Right now we're trying to get a better location, but right now it appears that there is a suspect down. This is about probably about a mile or two north of the IRC, where the multiple shooting has happened. Again, we don't know right now if this is actually has anything to do with this, or is this something totally separate. We did understand that units were in pursuit, and we understand that there were possibly shots fired. Now we see a suspect is down right here, uncertain if he's just in custody or if he's injured. We're going to try to get a better location here. I'm going to come off this for a second to try to get a street name for you if we can. It's in a residential area. Again, it's very difficult to see. We'll try to get that for you in a second, but multiple agencies closing in the area. You can see that we still have suspect officers driving eastbound in the area. We understand there still might be a pursuit going on. So we're going to come off this area right now. We're going to follow these officers here that might be continuing to what officers may be still in pursuit of an SUV. This might be something completely different. Lots of interesting information going on here. You can see these units trying to speed southbound. We'll go ahead of them to see if there's actually a pursuit that is south of them right now, trying to get information from the desk here on where it is. We're looking for the helicopter. We're looking for more black and whites. But again, we're going to try to maintain this area. This is an SUV.
JT, hang on one second. Greg Lee
We're hearing that there might be an officer down.
All right, stay with us. Greg Lee, his car is going right by him. Greg.
Yeah, David, again, at this intersection of Orange Show and Waterman, just in the last couple of minutes that JT's been talking, we've seen several sheriff's deputies get in their cars and squeal off, some eastbound on Orange Show, some northbound on Waterman, and we've been hearing them yell as they got into their vehicles. Orange Show and Tippecanoe. Here's another vehicle that's squealing off at a high rate of speed. This is at least 8 officers that we've seen take off already, and here's another one coming down northbound on Waterman as they approach what JT seems to be talking about. Again, we've heard several of them yell out Orange Show and Tippecanoe. Here's the SWAT vehicle with 5 SWAT members on the sides of it squealing off to the scene. Again, the most activity we've seen here in a number of hours as law enforcement officers continue to get on the road and squeal off to this next scene. So some very tense moments here as we're waiting to hear where these officers are all going as they speed off quickly, and the cars just keep on coming from the location they were at, David.
Right, let's quickly go back to JT Alpa, who is watching. Well, we don't know now. JT, what do you have for us?
Well, we've got a pickup truck here, David, and the units appear to be. Now we're off of that.
Yeah,
continuing southbound. It's very difficult. We've got a lot of black and whites all throughout the area. We understand they still might be in pursuit. We're trying to get ahead of this pursuit. This is southbound in the area, trying to get better locations here. But they are chasing a suspect, trying to get just when we thought we had it. Again, very difficult to get to.
Right.
We're trying to get, now we got units going eastbound from this location. We'll see if this is the actual area here. We've got black and whites, police vehicles from multiple agencies going different areas. Now we're going eastbound on San Bernardino, we believe it is. We're trying to get ahead of this to see what we've got here. We've got multiple officers here. We've got officers running here, back eastbound, chasing. Now we're on foot. Look at all those units here. Yeah. This is where a suspect is at. They've got units here. They're all proned out, and now we've got the vehicle here. We've got the suspect. Okay, that's kind of okay. We've got a very graphic situation here. We've got a black SUV. We've got a long rifle in the street. You can see that there is blood. There's been officer. The suspect is down. Right now, that's gonna be as wide as we're gonna get it. But you can see there's a black SUV in the center of the vehicle. We're gonna get a street for you in a second. This is on a east-west street right here. You can see officers with long guns here, all pointing down, eastbound down this street, which we'll get for a second. Again, a black SUV, uncertain if this is the suspect. You can see tactical teams moving up the sidewalk, looking for positions of advantage right now. Again, the suspect is down. They don't know if additional suspects are in that car. That's where you see those tactical teams moving eastbound, and we're going to come over here, moving eastbound up the sidewalk, trying to find a position of advantage. We're going to come back out. That scene that we showed you earlier, again, that might have been the scene where we have, again, not confirmed right now, but there is a possible officer injured that has not been confirmed. We saw several officers standing over that downed person who looked as if they were wearing a bulletproof vest down there. But you can see that black SUV, and just to the driver's side, on the north side of that street, there is a suspect down. It looks right next to him. Looks like to be. I don't want to get too close because that is a gory scene. Looks to be like there might be a long rifle down near his feet. Again, I don't want to get too close, but they're trying to get to to call out any additional suspects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the long way. I'm going to go in tight, and I'm going to go around the long way so we don't show that suspect down. You can see officers backing off. Going to try to get to the car around the long way here. I'm going to double up. You can see here that is a dark SUV. You can look at all the bullet holes in the windshield. The left side, driver's side, completely blown out. This was a very, very graphic shootout here. All the windows in this SUV completely shot out. We do not see any additional suspects in there. We saw the tactical teams running back westbound on the sidewalk. You can see they're trying to figure out whether it's clear to approach, trying to find a position of cover and concealment right now, which there's not a lot of. Those bushes do not stop bullets. They're trying to find positions of advantage, trying to see if we've got an additional suspect off the right side of the vehicle. They are focusing solely on that vehicle right now. The suspect, they can be pretty assured, is downed off in the middle of the street. He is down, and he is not moving, more than likely deceased. Right now, waiting, calling out to see if there's any additional activity in this vehicle, but all sorts of pandemonium. And I think that original scene David and Colleen was showing you might have been the situation where that original shootout occurred, and unfortunately it may have been an officer down. Again, not confirmed, just the reports right now that an officer possibly was down in that parking lot. And that's what it kind of looked like. You saw that there was a wreck in the street. You saw all sorts of debris, 2 or 3 vehicles hit, multiple officers. Again, unconfirmed that an officer is hit, or this is even something that's associated with this same the IRC shooting, but it appears that the long rifle down to the suspect's feet is down there. And I'm going to pull out wide again. I'm going to try to stay wide again. It's a very gruesome scene. I don't want to show it, but you can see here.
Let me clarify something here. Are you talking about that dark spot on the street across the street from the black SUV at the other side of the street? I don't want to get too close.
That's correct. Yes.
So that's what we're looking at, because it's difficult to see from that distance. Yes. I see a dark spot and another dark spot. What you're talking about is perhaps that's a suspect with a gun down.
That's what we believe right now. I haven't been able to zoom in. We got a little too close there, and again, a graphic scene. But that is an east-west major. We don't have the name of that street now. We're trying to confirm it right now. But that is a dark SUV. It almost looks dark brown, not black. But that spot you see on the north curb line. The north curb line, you see, just in front of that white police vehicle. You can see a dark spot on the left side. That is the suspect, and what's coming away from the suspect appears to be blood. Down near his feet, just to the right side of that dark spot, there is what appears to be a long rifle sitting in the street. Again, could be coincidental. I mean, there's no confirmation that this is the suspect from the IRC, but right now I'm going to come back to these tactical teams. You can see everybody deployed out of there. Greg Lee saw all those officers leaving that command post. We were hearing it. We departed the area. You can see all these SWAT tactical teams or their long rifles trained on that SUV, trying to get deployed. We're going to double up, get a little closer, and try to get back to the SUV without showing the suspect. More officers using concealment and cover behind this post, behind this hedge line, trying to prone out or call out any additional suspects that are in here. We're trying to get a look inside that vehicle. It's hard to tell if there's any additional suspects, but I can tell you there is not a window in this vehicle that has not been shot out, other than the windshield, which is still intact with many, many bullet holes in it. This was a fierce gun battle, and right now they are trying to figure out whether there's an additional suspect. Sooner or later, they're going to have officers come up and deploy, probably get some of that armament back at the IRC over here, that Bearcat or that Tac Cat, use that to come up to that vehicle so they can use it as cover and concealment to see if there's any additional suspects in here. But this was a massive shootout here back at that location that we showed you earlier. We caught up to their pursuit that just terminated with the shootout as we pulled onto the scene.
Right. Well, this is dramatic live occurrences that are going on right now when it comes to this investigation. It is almost shocking how quickly this is happening after the shooting. We were getting prepared for a long, protracted investigation. Perhaps that's not going to happen right now because this may have come to a conclusion, but let's not jump to conclusions. But what we do know is a dramatic shootout has occurred on the streets just very near where the scene of the shooting. Also, JT has a theory that perhaps
coming in from the KABC television, their helicopter pilot JT Alpar, what looks like that black SUV completely shot out on the street there about 1.5 miles They said from the Inland Reserve Center where the shooting took place a little over 4 hours ago. What looks like maybe a body on the street as well. Police closing in. Brad Garrett, you see the police moving so deliberately right now around that SUV, but certainly that SUV has been in a fierce gun battle, and now we have other SWAT vehicles moving up towards that what appears to be a body. Tell us what you're seeing.
Well, here's the issue, George. They don't want to get too close to the vehicle because they don't know what he had in the vehicle. Are there explosives in the vehicle? Are there potentially other individuals? I think the answer to that is probably no at this point. But you really don't want to roll right up to that car unless you're in something that's got some protection for your SWAT
They do
folks.
have an armored vehicle now moving right up to that, what appears to be a body in the street. Officers running behind as well. They're now just within several feet.
And so what they'll do is they'll clear the vehicle, obviously clear him. I assume if he's not deceased, get an ambulance there and move him on. But, you know, it appears by this scene at least, George, that you only have one person.
Right now, from what we can tell, all the police being very careful. They've now surrounded on all sides, moving within 10 feet, it appears, of that body. And Pierre Thomas, relatively close to the center where the shooting took place.
Exactly. This could be the first major break in the case. Obviously, if this individual is tied to the shooting, they can do fingerprints if he doesn't have ID on him. This will tell them a lot about what took place earlier in the day, if in fact this man is tied to the shooting.